We found ourselves in the midst of some Twitter drama. Matt from GolfWRX, of course. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. And you know what? That you talked about the drama. It always seems to find me for some reason. I don't know what the common denominator is.
Maybe we got targets on our back or something. Anyway, Matt, let's get into it. Why don't you tell the story about Rory McIlroy and Butch Harmon, their relationship, and what you know about it, and what's being said publicly today about it?
3 weeks ago, I think it was like right after the Players, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. I was told by someone very, very reliable who would 100% know that Rory went out to see Butch, which isn't that huge of a deal. Why he wanted to keep it secret, it's tough to speculate on that. But so he went to see him for a couple, for either like a lesson or two. It wasn't like a long-term partnership or anything. He just wanted to almost like a second opinion or a consultation on his swing, or he was having some left misses with his iron shots. He said his driver swing felt really good. So I think he went to see Butch just to work out some kinks. And it's not completely uncommon. He has done that a few times in the past, notably in 2020, but I think he's done it more often than people know. I just don't think he likes it to be completely publicized. So after that, I also received a couple pictures of them together, which I have, but I didn't want to share those. I don't think it was necessary for me to, because I think the truth was already obvious, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything. But I saw them literally together. And this picture was sent to me over a week ago, so I knew the whole time it was a fact, and I wanted to relay that as kind of quietly as possible, just out of respect to everybody, including Rory himself. I didn't want to. I could have tweeted it 3 weeks ago and it would have blown up, but I didn't. I said it in the hour and 20 mark of the end of my podcast, which isn't incredibly popular. So the people who listen to me knew we've known this for a while, and then everyone else, I guess, just found out today. But I said it yesterday on the Pat Mayo experience, and that was part of his like teaser for the promo, so people found out that way. And then this morning, Nuclear Golf posted it, or last night, which is a little bit frustrating.
They didn't give you credit, by the way.
I know. I was a little bit frustrated by that because their initial tweet with it, this other guy breaking it, again, 3 weeks after I had already known it and said it and reported it. And that tweet gets 300,000 views in an hour. And the one beneath is, oh, by the way, Matt reported this first, has like 8,000 views. Nobody reads that one. They only read, and that big one is the one that gets on all the Instagrams and all this stuff again, which is fine. But it seems like they kind of hacked that one up a little bit.
All right, we know this is a fact, right? You reported on it. You've seen pictures. This other guy's reported on it. He obviously has the source close to either Rory or Butch or somebody around there, right? Who knows that these two met. What is the reason behind Dan Rapaport saying that no, from Butch, no, him and Rory haven't met?
Well, some people speculate that maybe it's because me and him don't really see eye to eye, and I was the one reporting it, the first report, so he probably went and asked Butch after I reported it, and so I do think Butch told him no, right? I don't think he's making that up. I think he's kind of been used as a mouthpiece for a lot of these PGA Tour players, and whatever message they want conveyed gets conveyed through him. And so I think Butch knew he was an easy target just to tell him a lie, and he'll repeat it, no questions asked. He won't look for a second source. He won't dig into it. He'll just tell everyone what they want to hear, which is what he did. And unfortunately, it got disproven, a few seconds later by a bunch of different people. And he's just going to fall back and say, "Oh yeah, well that's what he told me." Well, your job as a journalist is to get a secondary source and verify what information you're hearing. Maybe ask somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight or isn't biased by a narrative they're trying to get out there. Obviously, Butch is going to say they're not working together because Rory asked him to keep it quiet. It's a relationship with a client that he's trying to honor in confidentiality. He's not going to go and tell the media immediately about it. So use common sense and see why you might be getting information from Butch.
We move forward from, we know this is a fact. We know Rory met with Butch. What does this do to your opinion of Rory heading into the Masters? And is this a sign that maybe his game is so far off the rails now that he went back to an old friend in Butch to try to get him back on track some way? And really, the Augusta, we know, is not the place to try to fix your swing.
Yeah, I think you can look. There's two ways to look at it. So the first one, maybe it is that far off. And I know Butch has said some things in the media about Rory that Rory didn't like. So going back to him might make it seem like he's so desperate that he really needs Butch, because Butch is the best at what he does. So that's one way to look at it. So he's really lost. The other way is he sees him from time to time. He does really respect him his work. And he did see him before the 2020 Masters, and he finished in a tie for fifth. And that was after shooting an open round 74 or 75. So it did help him when it was publicly known that he saw him in 2020. I do think he's seen him in between those two times. Exactly when, I'm not sure. But in general, I agree with your first point that when I'm looking for players at the Masters who are going to play well, you don't want guys tinkering. I do a show before the Masters where I have an equipment expert on, and the people who track what these guys are shafts, if they're changing, tinker around with things. The guys who are tinkering too close to a big tournament typically don't do well. They're searching for something. So it is concerning that he might be searching for something, but it is a positive to where I don't think it was a full-on swing change, or I think it was just a consult or a second opinion. So to be honest with you, it doesn't really do much one way or the other. For my opinion on him going to the Masters, if anything, it helps, because prior to that, I didn't think he could win with the way his game was in. Now I'm not sure. I still kind of don't think he can, but I don't think seeing Butch hurts that in any way.
If you want to throw out where people can follow you, listen to your podcast, check out your work, let them know.
Yeah, Matt Vincenzi PGA on X. I have a new Instagram too, so if you can get some follows over there, that'd be nice. It's hard to drive traffic over there. Same name. And the Tap It In podcast every Monday. Follow Tap It In 54 on Twitter. And that's about it. Thank you.